Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. We have here, slightly breaking, slightly getting on a bit news. It was only this morning that it was announced. And Angus MacNeil has been formally expelled from the SNP. Previously, he'd been suspended for a few weeks. He's failing to take the knee to Beryl Flynn in Westminster, and he said, "No, I'm not doing it. I'm not joining the group yet. I might come back in September." Well, he's not going to get the option. He has been formally expelled from the party over his row with the chief whip. We'll have a look at that now. Before we do, we're getting up there. I would ask that all my regular viewers, you're sitting there, and quite a few of you have not yet subscribed. Please take a moment. Please subscribe. Just hit that button right now. It really helps the channel. We need to grow the channel to get out there, to keep the channel getting bigger and larger and wider. Spread the word, spread the truth, and keep going. So do please hit that subscribe button if you're someone who enjoys watching the show, which you obviously do, because I see the numbers, and there's quite a few people who do watch on a regular basis who are yet to subscribe. So if you're regular, go ahead. And if you're new, go ahead and join us as we explore the vagaries and truths that are often missed by the mainstream media. Anyway, we'll have a look at this article. We'll see why Angus MacNeil has been thrown out. You know, we know why. We know. But he is a bit petulant. But he thought he would have the option of coming back, and it seems that option has now been removed. Here goes. Now, we will look at the story, but before we do, I will ask this question. Who do you think is the more relieved? Is it Angus MacNeil to be out of a party he so clearly dislikes? Or do you think that it'll be the SNP finally getting rid of someone who they find utterly loathsome? And indeed, most people find utterly loathsome, which we'll discuss in the body. But, you know, it's one of those things, it's a divorce of convenience, if you will. Anyway, Angus MacNeil expelled from the SNP after row with Chief Whip. He had a big sort of stand-up row and in Parliament, threw like a sheet of papers at him, and not that he deserved it. Brendan O'Hara is a bit of a bully boy and an oaf, so I don't doubt that from MacNeil's point of view, he was acting perfectly normally. And I think for most people, this is one of those few things. I don't normally do it, but this is one of the few times I think I can sympathise with Angus MacNeil, but he's not very sympathetic character, and normally I loathe him for who and what he is. But just on this particular issue, I think he's right, because Brendan O'Hara, I'd say, is a bit of a thug. Brute in a suit, as we call them. Anyway, MP Angus MacNeil has announced he has been formally expelled from the SNP. Mr MacNeil was suspended from the party's Westminster group last month after reportedly clashing with the Chief Whip, Brendan O'Hara. The party's conduct committee met on Thursday to discuss his case after he refused to immediately rejoin at the end of his suspension. Mr MacNeil, 53, has represented the Nahilinanea Western Isles constituency since 2005. He tweeted about his expulsion using a kangaroo emoji to refer to the member conduct committee. Now, Boris Johnson also referred to another committee, not the same, obviously not the SNP's committee, but the same committee in Parliament, as a kangaroo court, and that really riled people up. But they really are. They're over officious, pompous pricks. Basically, they think they've got all this power and they think that they can control people. Well, on this one occasion, Angus MacNeil said, "Well, you ain't controlling me, mate. Don't care. Do not care." And he doesn't. Now, the thing, of course, is it means he's effectively ending his political career. It will come to an ignominious end come the next election, because, of course, he'll have to stand as an independent if he wants to stand at all. He won't have the party machinery. He won't have the funding, etc. And if he does stand, it will... Hopefully there'll be enough people loyal to him that will vote for him and completely split the SNP vote. And it'll be another seat gone. But as it happens anyway, it looks like in his seat, Labour, the resurgence, the momentum that Labour have, would be enough to have taken the seat anyway. So it could turn, a defeat into a rout, which would be fitting. Anyway, He said, this is MacNeil, he said, the summer of member expulsion has indeed come to pass, as I have been expelled as a rank and file SNP member by a member conduct committee. I didn't leave the SNP have left me. I wish they were as bothered about independence as they are about me. And he is one of the most rabidly independently minded MPs. I have to get around that. He's not MSP. MPs within Parliament. And so they are actually, the irony is they're throwing out one of the most fervent supporters because he wouldn't bend the knee to Stephen Flynn. He was suspended from the Westminster Group for a week in early July, following reports of a row with Mr O'Hara in the House of Commons. And they had this row in the corridor there, and he had a sheet of paper, and he threw it at him and called him a little man, a wee little man, or something like that, because he was very small-minded. And, of course, Brendan O'Hara didn't like it, because it's true. Anyway, later that month, his membership of the party was suspended, as he refused to immediately rejoin the SNP group. The MP released a statement attacking the SNP leadership's approach to independence, accusing it of a lack of urgency. He said, I will only seek the SNP whip again if it is clear that the SNP are pursuing independence, he wrote. Well, the thing is, there's nothing they can do. About 48 times a week, Humza Yousaf stands there, calls for a referendum. Every time he meets with a UK government minister, he calls for a referendum. And none of it's ever going to happen. And there's no other way around it. A referendum is the only route. And they do continually call for it. So I don't know what MacNeil really wants. Although neither does he. Remember, this is the man whose wife was in hospital giving birth, and he was found canoodling with young girls. We're talking, I think, 16, 17, 18-year-old girls. So it's clear that he's not entirely sure what he wants either. Anyway, Thursday's decision by the Conduct Committee means he cannot sit as an SNP MP any longer, and he appears to rule out any reconciliation with the party. On Wednesday, SNP Westminster leader Beryl Flynn was asked about Mr MacNeil as he spoke to journalists on the by-election campaign trail in Rutherglen and Hamilton West. And he said the party's MPs should not pick and choose when they hold the party whip. However, he said he would not give a running commentary on the conduct process, and he gets on well with Angus. Does he? Does he really? Mr Flynn said he and his colleagues wanted a positive outcome, but added this was not always possible in politics. Well, I think from the SNP's point of view, they have got the positive outcome that they wanted. They've got rid of an odious creep. Don't forget, this is the man who basically hit and run a motorcyclist. Has abhorrent views on a lot of subjects. He's quite an odious man. Yeah, that's good. And then he'll soon be out. At the next general election, he will be gone. I wonder what he'll do for a living then. Nothing honest, I suspect. Anyway, let's round off and come up. I honestly think Parliament will be a better place without him. I think humanity will be a better place without him. He is a very nasty person, a very nasty bit of works. I certainly wouldn't want to spend much time in his company, given his history, given the things he says and does, given his worldview. It's a very cynical worldview, I think. And so, as I say, the SNP probably won't miss him. And certainly after the next general election, he would have been gone anyway. So it just seems, he's going to run out his time. It wouldn't be surprising if he comes to, if he announces his resignation rather than refights his seat. I think he knows that he can't possibly win it. So I think that'll be the end of his career, and I think he'll announce that in the next few days. See, another one gone. Honestly, they're falling like flies, aren't they? Anyway, I shall round off there. Thank you very much for watching. If you like what you see here on the channel, hit that subscribe button, please. Ring the bell, leave a like, leave a comment, please share the video. And until next time, stay safe, stay well. And if you are in the Western Isles, remember, don't vote for him. He's an awful human being. Bye.